Welcome back, everyone, to the channel. This is Decoding with Cody. Today is October 31st, 2025, Halloween. Yeah, it's one of those big ritual days. But welcome back to the channel, everyone. Hope everyone out there is doing well. This stream is going to be not so long, hopefully. I always say that, but hopefully it's not going to be overwhelming for everyone. But we're going to share something that I discovered on a stream that we did on Tuesday with Ball Don't Lie and Rambo. Hello, Coffee Girl. But before we get into that, I'm going to try a new intro song. But I just want to make sure you guys can hear it. So please let me know if you guys can hear it once I start the intro song. And then we're going to get into the decode. But we're just going to start the stream with some music. So I'm just trying to add more music to my stuff. So let me know if you guys can't hear this. All right, so here we go.
Nothing's random. Every sign is written in code. You just have to know how to read it. Nothing's random. Every sign is written in code. You just have to know how to read it. Yeah. Welcome to the cipher. The numbers align. Hidden in the headlines, the symbols combine. Astrology speaks while the planets turn. Every spark in the dark, another truth to learn. From the fall of kings to the pop stars' fall, every headline's echoing the cosmic call. Gematria patterns, they never lie. Messages written in the grids of the sky. We decode the code, reveal the plan. The truth's been hiding since time began. Every number, every sign, every scene we see is the language of fate and reality. We decode the code, reveal the plan. The truth's been hiding since time began. Every number, every sign, every scene we see is the language of fate and reality. Yeah. Pyramids, portals, the sacred scrolls, zodiac cycles, the story unfolds. From Saturn's rings to the tower's flame, the same old gods just change their names. Watch the world stage, it's a scripted play. The stars set the time, the words relay. So tune your mind to the unseen stream where the truth gets real and the world's a dream. As above, so below, the decode begins now.
All right, guys. So that's gonna be the intro song for a while. I thought I'd create myself an intro song, and thought it worked well. So thanks for joining in as usual today, guys. I appreciate you all. Kind of a random decode to talk about the alien, but yeah, this is going to be pretty obvious decode about how this reality once again is scripted. Again, from the beginning of time, it seems like we have the destinies of these people on the world stage and our own destinies as well. God ordained destiny for each of us. So here we go. We're going to try to get into this here. And please hit the like buttons if you're just getting in. Right now, only got 44 in the chat. Hopefully, we get some more people strolling in here. But yeah, let's get into it. So as I said, on Tuesday, during our Ball Don't Lie podcast, Eye to Eye, we stumbled across a decode connected to a basketball player who is clearly born and bred to be a symbol of the World Trade Center. And that's what we're going to talk about here. And then we're going to talk about the alien theme that also goes along with this. And you guys can see here on my thumbnail here, I have the ship from Independence Day. And so sorry, guys, I had to let the cat out. But yeah, you guys can see the ship here. And this might actually tie into what's coming eventually with the alien invasion. But basically, this ship is hovering over this building in New York City, right? It's the Empire State Building. And I'm going to show you how this player who wears the number 1, like the One World Trade Center, and his nickname is the Alien. Okay, so we have this connection to Independence Day as well, we're going to talk about. But let's get into it. So this is the player that's the subject of this decode. And you guys might be like, okay, some random NBA player. He can't be that important, right? Well, wrong. This guy is born and scripted to be a symbol of the One World Trade Center in New York City. And as we go through, you're going to see why. But first, let's introduce who he is. His name is Victor Wembanyama. Another interesting fact is the guy who built the World Trade, or who designed the World Trade Center, his name was Yamasaki or something. So he has the Yama in his name, and it was a Japanese guy with the name Yama who designed the World Trade Centers, the original ones. And so anyways, this guy is a French professional, right, who gave us the Statue of Liberty. Notice the picture here. He kind of looks like he's holding the ball up like the Statue of Liberty in a way. But yeah, he's French, right? And he's 7'4", and his nickname is the Alien or the Extraterrestrial. And he's from France. So Nike released shoes for him with the alien on them, okay? And they posted, "Who knew aliens wore tuxedos? The extraterrestrial has landed." So we have this connection between aliens and this guy, and I'm going to show you how he's connected to the World Trade Center. And again, how this connects back to the movie Independence Day. Remember, the country who helped us gain our independence supposedly was France. And this guy is from France. But the first thing we have to understand is we have to go back in history to the original players on the San Antonio Spurs. So Wembanyama plays for the Spurs in San Antonio. But before him, in the 1990s, there was a group of players, 2 players, who played for the same team, and their nickname was the Twin Towers. The Twin Towers, guys, Tim Duncan and David Robinson. They played for the Spurs, right? Just like Wembanyama. Well, their nickname was the Twin Towers, and Tim Duncan, the more famous, I would say, of the two, he was 6'11", okay? Like an upside down 9/11. And so what this represents, guys, is the 2 towers becoming one. You guys understand what I'm showing you here? It's so obvious. The 2 towers, which that was their name, they got replaced by the big man who's taller than them. Notice how Tim Duncan was 6'11", and David Robinson was 7'1", okay? So look at these two towers, the original two towers, right? One of them was taller. So this tower represents David Robinson. He was the original taller tower. And this smaller tower represents Tim Duncan. Now, Tim Duncan was born on 6'11", or he's 6'11" high. That's how tall he is. Now, Wembanyama, who is the One World Trade Center, he became the new Trade Center in the middle, and he wears number 1, right? Like the One World Trade Center. Well, he's taller than both the other two because the World Trade Center, the 1, is taller than the original 2. You guys get it? It's so clear. Even the heights are perfect. Now, what's even crazier about this, if we take the measurement from the birth of the 6'11" Tim Duncan to the birth of the new One World Trade Center, Victor Wembanyama, it's 10,116 days. Okay, so 10,116 days between Tim Duncan and Wembanyama. Guys, let me show you how crazy this is. So you see the amount of days between Duncan and Wembanyama, right? 10119. The date 9/11/01. What do we get when we flip it over? Watch. We rotate it. Watch. You rotate 9/11/01. Look what you get. If you rotate the date 9/11/01, you rotate it in a circle, right? It's going to be 10116. Guys, that's how many days Tim Duncan was born before Wembanyama. 10116. Let me know in the chat if you guys get this. Please give me a confirmation if this makes sense to you. When you rotate the date, you get the days between Wembanyama and Tim Duncan. Okay? So how crazy is that? Okay? Just how absolutely wild is that? And this is the guy who was 6'11", the original World Trade Center, Twin Tower, to the new, right? So all you got to do is invert the date, and you get the amount of days between the two. I mean, it's just absolutely mind-bending how crazy that is. Now, it's going to get even more obvious as we go through here. So this is what I shared in my live stream with AJ and Rambo. So now we're going to look at this guy's birth, right? January 4th, 2004. Well, the original World Trade Centers, they were taken out on September 11, 2001 at 8:46 a.m. The guy who represents the One World Trade Center, Wembanyama, was born 846 days after the towers went down, starting at 8:46 a.m. I mean, wow. If the slide before wasn't enough, this slide should just be like, whoa, that's crazy. He's born 846 days after the towers were hit at 8:46 a.m. Now, what's crazy is if you go forward from his birth, January 4th, 2004, you go 845 days, which is 1 day shy of 846, right? Because he wears the number 1. He represents the One World Trade Center. So if you go forward 845 days from his birth, it lands on the day that the One World Trade Center started construction. So that means he is 1 day off from being 846 days after 9/11 and 846 days before the construction. He's perfectly in the middle of the towers going down and the construction beginning. How crazy is that? The middle. He's the number 1. Okay? He's the One World Trade Center. I mean, that's just mind-bending. And it gets more and more insane as we go, really. So this guy was drafted number 1 overall in the NBA draft. Of course he was, right? He had to be drafted number 1 because he represents the One World Trade Center. That's why he wears the number 1. But look at this. From the day of the attacks on the World Trade Center to the day he was drafted number 1, it was 21 years, 9 months, and 11 days. Guys, he was drafted 9 months and 11 days after 9/11. Not to mention, he was 21 years, 9 months, and 11 days after 9/11. The date 9/11 can be written 9/11/21. Like 2001 reduces to 2/1. You guys get that? That's crazy. But not only was he born 9 months, 11 days after 9/11, if you add the date, he was born 21 years, 285 days after 9/11. And he represents the One World Trade Center. Well, the One World Trade Center is located at 285 Fulton. Guys, he was drafted number 1 285 days after 9/11. And the One World Trade Center is located at address 285 Fulton Street. So he's got the 9/11 months after 9/11, 9 months, 11 days. He's got the 285 days, which is the address. Okay? Now, here's the craziest part right here. Guys, on the day that Wembanyama was drafted number 1 overall to represent the One World Trade Center, he was 7,109 days old when he was drafted number 1. Guys, 7,109 is the 911th prime number. Are you kidding me? After everything I've shown here, the guy was drafted number 1 when he was 9/11 prime days old. Like, wrap your heads around that. He was 7,109 days old on the day he was drafted. That's the 911th prime. That was 9 months and 11 days after 9/11 and 285 days after 9/11, when the Trade Center is located at 285. Now, I forgot to even mention, we're talking about the One World Trade Center. What position does Wembanyama play? What position does Wembanyama play? Guys, the guy who I'm connecting to the World Trade Center, he plays the position of center. Victor Wembanyama plays center. I completely forgot to mention this. So not only is it all connected perfectly with the numbers, he literally plays the center. That's his position. He's the One World Trade Center. There's no doubt about this. Now, when he was drafted number 1 on June 22nd, 2023, that was the 77th NBA draft. The 77th. Well, on 9/11, Flight 77 hit the 77 tall Pentagon, which was 77 minutes after it took off. And so what's the chances that this guy, who clearly represents 9/11 in the World Trade Centers, he was drafted in the 77th draft to go with all the 77s that happened on September 11, 2001. The Pentagon, right? Flight 77. That's the big number on that day, was the 77. It was on the 77th meridian where it got hit, right? Now look, just to bring it all together, I didn't use 1 ounce of gematria until just now. But after everything I just showed you, let's just try to see if the Kabbalistic practice of gematria, turning letters into numbers, let's see if that gives us any more evidence as to why this guy represents the World Trade Center. Now look at this. His name, Victor Wembanyama, equals 185, like World Trade Center, equals 247, like World Trade Center, and equals 94, like World Trade Center. He is a 3 out of 4 base cipher gematria match to World Trade Center. I mean, come on. Is that not mind-blowing? Just on top of everything, right? On top of it all. He just happens to be 3 out of 4 ciphers. So I don't know how much more obvious. Again, I feel like stuff like this should be getting hundreds of thousands of views. How can all this be coincidence? How can this all just be some random thing, right? My intro song starts off with saying nothing is random. Nothing is random, okay? Everything has a meaning and code behind it. And this guy's code is destined to be the One World Trade Center. Now look at this. When Nike released his shoes called the Alien Shoes, they released them and they called him the Extraterrestrial. The Extraterrestrial, right? In Satanic Gematria, the phrase the Extraterrestrial equals 911. So just to add more proof, right? The Extraterrestrial, which is what they called him in the Nike promo, that equals 911. Now, after the World Trade Centers were taken down, they put up a cornerstone to pay tribute to the original Trade Center. That happened on July 4th, the nation's birthday, 2004. Guys, this guy is 7'4". He represents America and the French. Remember, the French helped America get their independence. He's from France. France sent us the Statue of Liberty, right? Well, the cornerstone was for the 9/11 was put up on July 4th, 7/4, 2004. That was the same year he was born. He was born exactly 6 months, right, before the thing went up on 7/4, and he's 7'4" Now, remember, as I told you, we're going to get to this part. He's also called the Alien, and he's 7'4", right? When in reality, the alien equals 74. Well, he represents not only the World Trade Center, but he represents the movie Independence Day, because the cover for Independence Day is literally a spaceship, aliens, right, going over top of one building. Now, this is not the One World Trade Center because it wasn't built yet, but this is the Empire State Building. What are the chances? This guy's nicknamed the Alien. He represents the One World Trade Center, and in the Independence Day movie, they show you on the front of the cover the aliens going over top of a building that looks a lot like today's World Trade Center. Here's the fun fact. The Empire State Building was the original tallest building in New York City until they built the World Trade Center. Let's look up the Empire State Building. Just to be clear. So here's the Empire State Building, which is on the front of Independence Day. Let's read what it says here. The Empire State Building was the world's tallest building until the North Tower of the World Trade Center was topped out in 1970. Following the September 11th attacks in 2001, the Empire State Building was once more New York City's tallest building, until it was surpassed by the One World Trade Center. So the Empire State Building was, before they built the One World Trade Center, it was the tallest building in New York. And now Independence Day shows us the ship taking out the tall building in New York. Okay. Now, don't forget, Independence Day equals 74. Like he's 7'4", and his nickname, the Alien, equals 74. That's in the same cipher as Jesus equals 74. Lucifer 74, killing 74, big number. Messiah 74, Jewish 74, Gematria 74. That's why the nation's capital, the nation's holiday of its birthday is on 7/4 when holiday equals 74. But look at this. If you go from Independence Day release, the original release, to the birth of Wembanyama, it's 90 months and 11 days. Guys, 9/11 again. So here's this guy who has all the traits. He has everything. He's born 10116 days after the original Twin Tower on his team. That's if you flip the date of 9/11. Let me just show this again. This is wild. Again, 9/11/01. If you rotate the date, you get 10116. That's the amount of days he was born after the Tim Duncan. Right? And then he's born 846 days after the towers went down on 8:46 a.m. He's born 845 days before the One World Trade Center began. That one extra day that he's off represents the One World Trade Center. Okay. Now remember, in my last decode, I showed you how Keanu Charles Reeves. So look at Keanu Charles Reeves, right? He played the One in the Matrix, right? The One, like the One World Trade Center. He equals One World Trade Center. You see? So Keanu Reeves equals 294 and 105, like One World Trade Center. Okay, and he played the One. Remember, in the movie The Matrix, on his passport was the date 9/11/01. Okay, so it's not a stretch to make this connection. Now, this 294, you see the 294 here? One World Trade Center, 294. Keanu Charles Reeves, 294. Now, if you go, Victor Wembanyama, the One World Trade Center, he played his first game. When did Wembanyama play his first game? His first NBA game was October 25th. Back to the Future starts on October 25th. His first game was on October 25th, 2023. So let's go from his birthday, Wembanyama's birthday, right, which is in the year 2023, which is on the 4th of January, to the first game he played in the NBA on 10/25. How many days is in between his birthday and his first game? Look, 294 days. His first game after his birthday, right? What was the number? What was the number I just told you? Let me just bring it up by itself. 294 is the gematria of One World Trade Center. So if this guy is a symbol of that, he played his first game after his birthday, 294 days, which is the gematria, okay? And on top of that, Derek from Gematrinator, he shared some things. We got one more slide, and then we're going to get to one more thing that Derek shared with me. But here's the last thing. If you go from the United States release date of Independence Day on 7/3, which was the 185th day of the year. Now, on every year except leap years, the United States Independence Day falls on the 185th day of the year. Okay? So that's a huge day because 185 is July 4th most years, except for on a leap year. Now, Independence Day was released on a leap year, so July 3rd was the 185th day of the year in 1996. But anyway, if you go from the United States release of Independence Day to the birth of Wembanyama, it's 7 years, 185 days. World Trade Center, 185. Victor Wembanyama, 185. Donald John Trump, 185. Okay, that's a huge number, actually. I believe the Twin Towers, if I'm not mistaken. Trying to remember what it is. It's not the Twin Towers. Oh, September 11th. If you type in September 11th, if you spell it right. Oh, sorry, I'm wrong here. What else equals 185? I'm tripping, guys. But notice that September 11th equals 77, right? Like World Trade Center. Yeah, I'm tripping on the 185, but Donald John Trump equals 185, right? So this number is big. This 185. Mathematics equals 185. Notice the 68 mathematics, like the World Trade Center construction began in 68. Like Victor Wembanyama equals 68. His nickname is the Alien. The word alien equals, well, I thought it equaled 68. I'm really off today, guys. What was it that equaled 68? Now I can't remember, but alien does equal 41 and 43 and 23. Like Wemby, his nickname is Wemby, right? His other nickname, that equals 68. That's what it was, 68. So his nickname, Wemby, equals 68, right? Like alien, or like Victor Wembanyama. And again, the World Trade Center construction, the original, began in 1968. So, yeah, Wemby equals alien, right? 23. But, you know, like, it's just crazy. And just another shout out to Gematria. He had shared with me, let me pull this up for you guys so I make sure I get this right. Because Gematria had shared with me notice how Wemby, let me find it. Notice how his nickname Wemby equals 1337, right? Wemby, right? And World Trade Center equals 1337. So you see that? It's in a different cipher, but these two ciphers are very relevant, right? Please hit that like button, guys. If you guys think this is obvious information, please hit that like button. We have 163 in here. We got only 71 likes right now. So if you guys enjoy the content, if you guys think this is eye-opening and all, right? I don't see how much more eye-opening it can be. The guy was literally drafted number 1 911 prime days after he was born. I mean, come on. And he represents the 1 World Trade Center. He was drafted 9 months and 11 days after September 11th, or a span of 285 days. The 1 World Trade Center located at 285. So, yeah, I mean, just a lot of different things you could say. If you guys have anything in the chat you'd like to add. November 11th. Wow, that's interesting. Maybe we should be watching for November 11th. So someone in the chat says November 11th. Wow, look at this. Huh. Well, this is a date we should, think about it, guys. November 11th. Nov is 9. Nov means 9. So 9/11, right? How crazy is that? So November 11th looks like a date to be watching for. I don't know about this year, but any year. November 11th is going to connect to this whole theme. 846 equals 185. That's a good one. Wow. 846, huh? Wow. Good one. Wow. Absolutely perfecto. Wow. Thank you for that. Who was that dropped that? Pamela. Thank you. So look at that, guys. I started the decode talking about how this guy was born 846 days after the towers went down on 8:46 a.m. And when you type in 846, it equals Victor Wembanyama. It equals World Trade Center. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. And it has the 77, which, again, he was drafted in the 77th draft. And that's how you would say the time, right? 8:46. That's how you say it. The time of the tower hit, 8:46. That's exactly how you say it. So you type it out, you get the same gematria. That's wild. Thank you for that. That is an amazing addition. And let's not overlook. I saw that. I thought I glimpsed that Widow's son was in the chat earlier. He's been talking about the Father and the Son becoming one, like I and the Father are one, right? The towers, the two towers becoming zero, becoming one. Independence connects to becoming one or becoming independent, right? So, and make sure you guys go check out Widow's son's channel. His channel's right here. If he's still in here, he can drop his link. But I mean, this is just wild, guys. I mean, I know this is kind of off topic. This is not really connected to any current events going on, but I thought that this decode was very relevant to just more perfect coding into this matrix. And, but yeah, that last one blew my mind. 846 equals Victor Wembanyama and World Trade Center. He was born 846 days after the towers went down at 846. Wow. I mean, let's look at more 185s. Hold on. Let me just jump to some more 185s to see if I missed anything. 1 second. Trump plane crash equals 185. Wow. Guys, is there going to be a Trump plane crash? This might connect to Donnie Darko and how the plane, like the plane of reality, is crashing, right? The word pitch black equals 185. Left Behind 185. Let me see if there's anything else. 201. That big number, guys. Oh, I can't believe I forgot this one. Catholicism, 185. 201. If you type it like this, 201, it equals 185. If you type it 201, it equals 185. So that big 201 number, it equals 185. Solomon's Temple. Solomon's Temple, right? 185. Mathematics. Secret Society, 185. Mathematics, 185. Julius Caesar. Ancient Egypt. Donald John Trump. Annuit Copetus, which is on the money. 185. The Truman Show. Virtual reality. Wow. 185. Fibonacci code. 185. Book of Revelation. Oh, I can't believe I forgot this. Basketball. See, basketball equals 185. How did I miss that? The whole time I'm talking about a basketball player connected to the 185, right? I just showed all this, and I completely forgot that the word basketball equals 185. I knew that, but completely forgot. So basketball, 185. One world order, 185. U.S. dollar collapse, 185. A secret society out of Yale called Scroll and Key, 185. Victor Wembanyama, as I said, 846. Stock market crash. November 11th. We're going to have a stock market crash on November 11th? Interesting. The team based out of New York is called, the hockey team is called the New York Rangers, equals 185. The White House, 185. I mean, geez, guys, this number might be one of the most important numbers in gematria, I think. I mean, out of all the things I just listed to you that equal 185, they're all really big things, right? Solomon's Temple, World Trade Center, Catholicism, Donald John Trump, 201, 846 equals that, mathematics, Julius Caesar, Annuit Copetus. I mean, that's a lot, okay? But the main thing with this decode was the fact that Wembanyama, he represents the One World Trade Center. He equals 185, like World Trade Center. So thank you for the additions. Does anyone else have anything? Global markets crash equals 180. Really? Hold on. Another market crash. So it seems like this number is tied to market crashes. Global market crash. Hold on. Markets? Did you say, global markets crash equals 185? Okay. Wow. So global markets crash, 185. Stock market. Think about it, guys. The World Trade Center, like trading stocks. Look at that. Stock equals 68, like Wemby. Guys, I think this is connected to a stock market crash. I think that's what this is about. Stock market crash equals 185, right? US dollar collapse equals 185, right? US dollar collapse equals Victor Wembanyama. Look. You see? November 11th equals World Trade Center, Victor Wembanyama, and US dollar collapse. So watch out for November 11th, guys. Wow. But yeah, US dollar collapse, stock market crash, global markets crash equals 185. And Annuit Copetus, right? Annuit Copetus. Hold on. Equals 185, right? And what is that, right? What is Annuit Copetus? Of course, this is the saying on the money, right? The saying on the money right here equals that, 185. So, yeah, this seems to really be pointing to something with markets or money. And don't forget, Donald Trump is literally destroying the economy right now by everything he's doing. Donald John Trump is going to be the catalyst. His tariffs, his government shutdown that's happening, all this stuff that's happening is leading towards a reset of the system, a crashing of the economy. Donald John Trump equals 185, which is perfect because that's what's going to happen, right? Eventually, that's going to happen. So, yeah, there's that. Somebody's saying that the SEC versus Ripple Labs Inc. equals 185. That's a good one. Somebody says in hoc signo vinces. What does that mean? Hold on. In hoc signo vinces. In this sign you will conquer. Wow. So the Latin phrase that means in this sign you will conquer, that equals 185. Let's look at this. Think about it, guys. The one. Wow, look at this. Perfect. In hoc signo viensis. I don't know how to say that. Vicis. And that means in this sign you will conquer. It's famously associated with the Roman Emperor Constantine the Great, who reportedly saw the phrase and cross and a cross in a vision before a pivotal battle in 312 AD. Trump got 312 votes for the election, guys, becoming the first Christian emperor. Wow, Constantine the Great said this, and it equals 185. So you guys are doing great. If you guys, anyone else that knows any 185s, here's your time. The phrase means, in this sign you will conquer. The sign refers to the cross, or more specifically, the Chi-Rho. Wow. So we're on the Chi-Rho now. Okay, this is good right here. Man, I could probably do a whole nother decode on this. Oh, look at this. Constantine the Great equals Holy Roman Empire. You see that 218 there? Another interesting number. So Constantine the Great equals Holy Roman Empire, 218. Trump in all capitals equals 218. But yeah, this is crazy. In this sign you will conquer. It refers to the cross, the Chi-Rho, right? Well, again, somebody is mentioning the Chi-Rho. The Chi-Rho is clearly connected to XRP, as somebody mentioned. The cryptocurrency that's out there right now, it's everyone theorizes is going to be the new system. It's XRP, right? You got the X and the P right there. And really, if you look at it, there's kind of, the R is kind of in there too. But yeah, the Chi-Rho is a very ancient symbol. One of the oldest cryptograms or Look, it's a monogram, guys, like a 1, like Victor Wembanyama. Where's number 1? This is all about the 1, guys. It's all about Neo, the 1. That's why Neo in the Matrix, his expiration date is September 11, 2001. That's why it happened in the year 2001. That's why Victor Wembanyama wears number 1, right? Yeah, and Victor means to conquer. Thank you, 7-1. That's a clear point that we didn't even mention. Victor means to conquer. His name is Victor. So that's I mean, how much more do you need to see here? I mean, it's all fits perfect. Oh man, somebody says in the chat that they're going to be, I am 185 Mercury years on the 11th of the 11th, 25. Interesting. That's crazy. Definitely look into that day for you. You're definitely coded into that. Everyone's got their code. Erica's misquote of the Bible, Father, forgive them for they know not what they do, is 185 in Chaldean. Oh, yeah, and big shout out, I totally forgot, but big shout out to Golden Age Deception for inspiring this decode. Guys, make sure you guys go check out his, I don't know if he has a YouTube channel. Do you have a YouTube channel? If not, Golden Age Deception on Instagram. He inspired this on Tuesday when he called in, and I started looking into Wembanyama more. I don't know if you just got in here, Golden Age, but did you see that Victor Wembanyama was 7,109 days old when he was drafted number 1, which is the 9/11 prime number? And he was born 1,000 or 10,116 days after Tim Duncan, who was 6'11" foot tall. And if you flip 9/11 and you rotate that, it's 10116, like the days between Duncan and Wembanyama. But yeah. Oh, you have some more input, huh? Yeah, I definitely look forward to, if you want to drop your info if you have info you want to share, make sure you drop it in the comments after the video, because I know you have extra that you can share, because you're more into the Spurs than I am. I don't follow them that heavy, but I appreciate you, and make sure you guys go check out his work on Instagram. And also, make sure you guys go check out all the other people that are in here today. Got 7-1. This is his channel on YouTube. Make sure you guys go subscribe to him as well. And then, like I said earlier, Widow's son is also in the chat. And make sure you guys go subscribe to his YouTube channel. He says that Greg Popovich looks like the architect from The Matrix. Let's see. Greg Popovich, the coach for the former coach for the Spurs. So here's Greg Popovich. Let's see the architect from The Matrix. Architect. I always struggle with that word. Matrix. Wow. So what do you guys think? Is there a resemblance? Here's the architect from the movie, and here's the head coach of the Spurs. I think that's really close. What do you guys think? There's the coach, right? The famous coach from the Spurs, which is all tied to the Spurs, right? It's all about the Spurs. And here is the architect, and here is the coach. So shout out to Widow's son for that. Wow. That's really close. Man. And Greg Popovich, he was the architect of all those championships that the Spurs won. Like, he was the architect. And let's think more about the Spurs here. Let's think more about the Spurs, right? That is a horse reference. The spur is something that spurs the horse to move forward, right? So we're really looking for the year of the horse next year, connecting with the Spurs. Remember, we had the San Antonio floods this year. And it just seems to me that there's a really good chance that this connects to the year of the horse. Yeah, that was a great one by Sean, Widow's son, in the chat. He nailed that one, I think. Looks very similar. First trumpet equals 185. Anunnaki 185. Let's look at this. Anunnaki. Somebody's saying that equals 185. First trumpet. Okay, first trumpet 185. I see. Interesting. And don't overlook the fact that Popovich's middle name is Charles. This goes with all of our Charles themes this year. And, Charles, he's got that 214, right? This was the big number connected with Pope Francis' death. And notice that Popovich has the 85. Well, the number 185 it's the 85 with a 1 in front of it, right? 185, 185, right? So the 185 is connected to the 85. So it is interesting. Whenever you see an 85, you should also think 185 because the 1 in front. And you'll notice that a lot of things that equal 185 also have 85s, right? In fact, that saying from Constantine equals 185 and 85. And let's not overlook the fact that the word matrix in basic gematria equals 85, right? So this is a big code here with 185 and 85. Yeah, and that's what I wanted to talk about too. Somebody in the chat says they've really been pushing the alien theme lately. And one world order, yeah, let's not forget that. One world order does equal 185. So there's something to this, and we just had 3i Atlas, right, make its closest approach to the sun, and people were speculating that it was aliens, right? So there has been an alien theme, and Rambo has been talking about on our decodes on Tuesdays. There's been a lot of alien disclosure, right? And remember, this also connects to basketball because there was a famous movie called Space Jam. And of course, Michael Jordan, this connects to our bunny, our bad bunny theme. Remember, there's a bunny on the moon, the moon hair, right? And Space Jam with Michael Jordan, who's the famous basketball player. Look at when this came out, November 10th. So Space Jam came out the same year as Independence Day. So there's something to think about that. There's also was another Space Jam. Space Jam with LeBron James, right? Right? So there's this one too. And remember, it was LeBron James. And the reason I'm talking about this is because obviously Space Jam is about aliens coming to Earth. So, and LeBron James is the one who gave Wembanyama his nickname, the alien. Somebody's in the chat saying government shutdown equals 85. Yeah, that. I think it does, doesn't it? I thought I saw that yesterday. Yeah, government shutdown does have the 85 as well, so. But yeah, if anyone wants to look more into the Space Jam thing and leave, I haven't even seen this new one. Yeah, Space Jam equals 68, right? I already talked about that. Space Jam. Well, look at that. Space Jam. Space Jam equals Wemby, which is the nickname of Wembanyama. So, I mean, look at that. Wemby 68, Space Jam 68, Alien 23, Wemby 23, Space Jam 23. He was drafted in the year 23. So yeah, I mean that is good. That's a good theme. Space Jam movie length is 88 minutes. Anyone got anything else? Oh, thanks to Rambo's in the chat. Much love, Rambo. Hope you're doing well. Guys, make sure you guys go check out Rambo at the Truth Codes at patreon.com. Again, he's been talking about the alien disclosure thing. And this just, this Wembanyama stuff just just connects to that, right? And again, the spurs, like the ear of the horse. And there's probably way more to this. If anyone finds any more, but this is just like the main theme of Wembanyama. So if later in the future, if we end up talking more about this basketball player, you guys know why. Somebody's saying that the alien disclosure. Where did that go? Somebody's saying Tyler drove a Challenger, which equals 185. And the distraction guy was George Zinn, which equals 185. Good one. Yeah, somebody is saying in the chat that Wembanyama will be traded, like the World Trade Center. That's good. Where do you think that Wembanyama will be traded to whenever he's traded? New York? If Wembanyama is traded to New York, I would absolutely lose it. Rambo dropping some more knowledge in the chat now. Rambo says the Spurs of the English Premier League had a player named Victor Wanyama. Huh. Let's look at that guy. Wow. Crazy. Well, the Yama. Let me just talk about the Yama for a second. World Trade Center. So if you look at the World Trade Center, and you let me just search it. The architect is Yama. Wow. Okay. He was the architect. So look, Minoru Yamasaki. And we're talking about Victor Wembanyama. And Rambo's saying there's on the Spurs of the English soccer team, there's a guy named Victor Wanyama. And that makes you think Obama. Also, right? Obama, Wanyama. Remember, there's an Obama Japan. The guy who constructed the World Trade Center is Yamasaki. So something up with Yama. But yeah, here's what Rambo said. There's a soccer player named Victor Wanyama. Look at this. He's born June 25th. Guys, that's the day Independence Day came out. The original. Look, Independence Day, June 25th. 1991, huh? Wow. Oh, of course. His name equals 85. Oh, man. He's one off. Guys, this is what I mean. This is the rule of Colel. In the rule of Colel, Freemasonry, you can add or subtract the one because the one is the monad. Let me again pull this up so people understand what I'm saying. This is a real thing. Rule of Colel. This is all about the one, guys. The one World Trade Center. Victor Wembanyama, where's number one? He was drafted number one. The Kabbalistic rule of Colel states that one digit can be added or subtracted from a gematria value of the word without affecting its value. This seems in modern ears to be a cheat. However, the Kabbalists explain this rule by pointing out that for them, one was not a number. It was the monad that symbolizes divinity and could come and go as he pleases, adding nothing and taking nothing away. Shakespeare refers to this concept in the sonnets when he writes, among a number one is reckoned none. The word kolel seems to derive from the Hebrew word to kil, to make perfect. So think about this. We've been talking this whole thing about one. There is a rule of kolel, which is all about adding or subtracting one digit from a gematria value. When you type in Victor Wanyama, it equals 186. All right. So if we type in 186 and 185, this is the rule of Colel. Okay. Victor Wembanyama equals 185. Victor Wanyama equals 186. This is the rule of Colel right here. The 1. This is why Wembanyama wears number 1. This is why this other player who has basically the same name as him, victory, right? And this is victory, like Jesus was the one on the cross who got victory. Victor. Look at how Victor equals 33, but victory equals 77. Just looking to see if there's anything that I'm missing here. Huh. But does have that 33, victory, or Victor. So 185 is the 142nd composite. So that's another interesting connection. Man, you guys are killing it in the chat today. I've been on here way longer than I expected. Kal-El, yeah, like Superman. They've been saying that aliens are actually interdimensional, emphasizing between dimensions, like middle. Yeah. Yama is an anagram of Maya. Wow, that's a good one. Did you hear that, guys? Big shout out to Roline. He says the word Yama is an anagram of Maya. Huh. Like the Maya. And of course, very ancient civilization here with very ancient connections. So that's something to think about, how that might connect to the Maya. 61. The significance of the character name Wemby is rapture. That is how the rapture will happen, an alien invasion. Yeah. That's kind of the big thing, right? The rapture and the alien invasion connection. Got the truth codes in here again. Spurs, the soccer team, actually used Wembley Stadium. So Wembley Stadium sounds like Wemby. Yeah, so look at this. Wembley Stadium. And the Spurs have used that according to Rambo. So yeah, maybe we can think more about how this connects to Wembley Stadium. I'm sure Rambo already has some connections on that. Wasn't Kamala Harris's sister named Maya also? Casey Jones Astrology is in the chat. Make sure you guys go check out his channel as well on YouTube. He says 1 is the loneliest number. That's that famous saying. Yep. All right, guys. I guess we'll start wrapping it up. But you guys have added a bunch of crazy stuff to this decode. So make sure, if you guys enjoyed, make sure you hit that like button on the way out. And I don't know, you guys want me to play the outro music as we end it, or are you guys tired of that music already? I'm in a creative mood right now, and I don't have like my own studio or music or instruments, so I just started making lyrics and music with the AI. But if you guys want to hear the outro song again, somebody says Trump takeover. Trump takeover equals 185? Really? It's interesting. Trump take over. Huh. I mean, I don't know how that. I mean, I get that, but that's interesting for sure. All right, guys, we'll start wrapping this up. Thank you guys for sticking around, and thanks to all the great decoders in the chat for making this decode even better. And I guess we'll hear the song on the way out if you guys want to stick around. But yeah, I'll say goodbye after the song's over, but we'll play it real fast.
Yeah.
Let's hear that.
Nothing's random.
Nothing's random.
Every sign is written in code. You just have to know how to read it. Yeah. Yeah. Welcome to the cipher. The numbers align. Hidden in the headlines, the symbols combine. Astrology speaks while the planets turn. Every spark in the dark, another truth to learn. From the fall of kings to the pop stars' fall, every headline's echoing the cosmic call. Gematria patterns, they never lie. Messages written in the grids of the sky. We decode the code, reveal the plan. The truth's been hiding since time began. Every number, every sign, every scene we see is the language of fate and reality. We decode the code, reveal the plan. The truth's been hiding since time began. Every number, every sign, every scene we see is the language of fate and reality. Yeah. Pyramids, portals, the sacred scrolls, zodiac cycles, the story unfolds. From Saturn's rings to the tower's flame, the same old gods just changed their names. Watch the world stage, it's a scripted play. The stars set the time, the words relay. So tune your mind to the unseen stream where the truth gets real and the world's a dream. As above.
All right, guys. We won't play the whole thing all the way, but have a great evening, everyone out there, and hopefully everyone stays safe and has a great night, and we'll see you guys very soon with the next decode. All right, guys, take care.